Any minute now. There we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome into That Real Texas Team podcast, episode 39. We are previewing week 6, and we are joined by a special guest today of the lead at the lead _ Houston, Harley. What is going on, brother? How are you?
Doing well, man. Doing well. Appreciate y'all having me on. Yeah, man, I'm excited for upcoming game of football again for the Houston Texans. Another Sunday and another day where we can get another W.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. With me, as always, my resident main men here, Mike and Chris. You can find Mike at Mass 3 Productions on YouTube. You can find Chris at That's Crazy Podcast and Talk. Go like and subscribe to not just their channels, but head on over to the lead _ Houston or HOU and like and subscribe on Harley's channel. We're at 198 subscribers at the time of this recording or at the time of this live stream, and I'd like to see that number keep climbing. So hit the like, subscribe button over here, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content. And gentlemen, let's get into this. Leading off, injuries. Nico Collins is on short-term IR. How are we feeling with the vacuum, with the void that Nico Collins leaves?
Harley, you want to attack this one first?
Yeah, I'll go for it, man. Yeah, so I mean, Nico's on IR. Look, it seemed like it was implied, believe 2 days ago by Aaron Wilson. He actually had tweeted it out that said it was going to be more of a day-to-day thing, that, or he could just miss all the way to the New England game, and that's it. Now we get him placed on IR. I'm believing it's more of a, okay, we're going to be cautious with Nico Collins. We understand that the offense is pretty much revolved around him the first 4 weeks for the Houston Texans, especially the Jaguars game, second half. It was just, let's spam 12. And I had no problem with it. Find ways to win football, regardless of how ugly it was. You find ways to win football games. And without Nico Collins, yes, the Houston Texans are missing the leading wide receiver in receiving yards in the NFL, arguably top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. But this is why you went out and got Stephon Diggs. You also have Tank Dell there as well. You have a pretty deep wide receiver room already. The depth is there. Xavier Hutchinson seems to be the name that is implied to step up in the 4 games that are coming up. But I'm really looking at Tank Dell and the utilization of him. They've just went through him as a gadget guy the first 4 weeks, and it's really frustrating as a Houston Cougar fan over here. I know what Tank Dell can do. I know exactly what he can do. And I thought last year we got it proved that this man's a traditional X wide receiver. He can line up on the outside, and he can kill you. Your ankles will be dropped here, left, right, down, straight, up, whatever. It does not matter. Tank Dell can do that. And I'd like to see what Tank Dell can do one more time. 4 weeks, maybe it unlocks the offense. Who knows?
Okay.
Like I said, I agree with you on that one thing. Like I said, it's the reason we brought in Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs constantly keeps trying to remind people he's the number 1 receiver, has been a number 1 receiver for years. This is his opportunity to show it. That because we know the trust in our run game is little to none. So CJ is going to be out there slinging. That's the way the offense is going to go, regardless if we run on first and second down. As we've learned over weeks, 3rd and 7, we're not running the damn ball. It's going to be thrown. So if Stephon Diggs can continue to get open like he's been doing, I just would like to see a couple more shots down deep. Like of this year that I've pretty much seen, the deep passes have only went to Nico.
Yeah.
I need to see that change just a little bit. Anybody else?
Well, I mean, I feel like there's been some attempts to get Tank the ball deep, and he's either been overthrown or just kind of straight dropped him. It wasn't necessarily a deep pass against Chicago, but that one where he came behind the defense and just doinked that ball off of his hands, that would have been a long Tank Dell touchdown. But yeah,
I'm
no,
like,
go ahead.
I'm like Harley. I've been watching him since U of H. I've never seen him do that.
Yeah. You're not wrong, and I'm also frustrated seeing him do the jet sweep thing. Like he's not deep.
Oh my God, that's what I was just about to say. I'm so sick of that. If I see that one more time, this reverse jet sweep they call themselves doing, you can see that they're going to do it before they do it. And I'm watching it from home. Never played football in my life. Watching it from home and seeing this, you can see exactly what they're getting ready to do. It is so irritating to where I'm watching this man. I understand he's fast, but this man's also 165 pounds. You know what they're going to go for? They're going to go for them legs. You know what's going to happen? He's going to be on IR next. Like,
hey, knock on wood, man. Knock on wood.
I'm just saying, like, that's literally they're putting him in danger. I do not like watching him getting put in danger. Like, he's too good of a receiver, but they're going to have to activate him. There is no Nico Collins to bail CJ out at 3rd and 18 because for some reason Nico Collins always catches the ball at 3rd and long, and he's not going to be there to do that. You're going to have to rely on a Stephon Diggs, which is why we brought him in. Of course, we have not seen that production yet because Nico is the number 1 receiver. My God, Nico is amazing. But as I've said in episodes past, my issue with Nico was I didn't even know Nico was good because he was always hurt. And look where we are right now. I'm being so and let me rephrase. Nico is a great wide receiver right now. I didn't even think he even had that potential because he was always hurt. How would you know? You never saw him on the field long enough, and you would think that the way he's playing right now, even with playing with the Davis Mills, he'd have made him look good like a D-Hop made 8 quarterbacks who we can't even remember half their names now look good for years. Just my opinion on that, and in my opinion, as I said this a couple of weeks ago, I can't say he's the number 1 receiver in the league, and this is the main reason why right now. It's the main reason why.
Well, Harley touched on it earlier. This is why they brought Stephon Diggs in. There was, I think, 4 games last year where Tank Dell and Nico Collins were in the same game. Stephon is supposed to be that stopgap. And then we've got, Mechie coming in and presumably supposed to be that fill-in wide receiver 4. You got Xavier Hutchinson, who's shown a lot over the last, 3 months of football, including training camp. So, I mean, we should, in theory, be okay.
Should.
But, it all depends on who the hell's going to step up and if they can actually do it. Other injuries, these were the people who did not participate today at practice. No Kenyon Green, Derek Barnett, Jake Hansen, Titus Howard, Kamari Lassiter, Joe Mixon, Laramie Tunsil, Jimmy Ward, or Robert Woods.
God damn.
Pierce and Kurt Heinisch did return to practice today. It's the first Thursday practice or Wednesday practice that Damian has done since before the Colts game. So, because I think he injured his hamstring like the Friday before the Colts game. So,
but no, he played the Colts game.
Yeah, he
did play the Colts game.
Oh, sorry, the Friday following the Colts game before the Bears. Yeah, sorry, my bad. Got my weeks mixed up.
My real quick thoughts on the injuries before y'all go. Sorry, real quick before on the injuries. As far as I'm fine with this week if we have Blake Fisher playing right tackle this weekend. I'm okay with that. I mean, I'm not extremely happy about it, but I'm okay with that for this week. And also, I'm also okay with if Jimmy Ward is also he just for a week, let him sit down. Just because he got hurt twice. He got hurt twice on Sunday, if I'm not mistaken, right? Didn't he go down? Didn't he come out and have to come back in, and then he ended up getting hurt again? If I'm not mistaken. So I think it's all right. Let him rest a week. Like I say, regardless of the fact, we should have enough to beat the Patriots regardless. But like you say, it's always trending towards a trap game. But I think we should have enough to beat the Patriots. If you want to be honest, D'Amico needs to blitz Drake May like 100 times, like 80% of the time. I know that's probably an impossible thing to do, but like you need to put the gas on this man who has not played in a game that is way faster than college. Not saying Drake May's a bad quarterback. He ain't played yet though. except for in the preseason. We're not going to count that.
Well, he played a little bit in one of the blowout games. I think the Jets Patriots game, he came in and just kept getting sacked. But
yeah, he's been hit already. I know that he's familiar with what human bodies feel like when they hit him. The one thing I would say about that whole issue that with Blake Fisher playing right tackle, if he's playing right tackle, who the hell's playing left tackle?
Well, I think this is a veteran rest day for Laramie. He did injure his
Yeah, that's
ankle
what I was thinking too.
the previous week. And Harley, you can jump in anytime, by the way. But he did injure his ankle the previous week, and I think they're just kind of nursing it and getting him a veteran rest day. So I wouldn't read too much into Tunsil missing. But okay. Howard is kind of concerning.
Yeah, we'll see. I think Laramie Tunsil, I'm not too worried about it right now. If it's Friday, okay, then I'm going, all right, what's going on with Laramie Tunsil? But I'm going to wait, and I'll wait on that before I'm starting to trip on anything. Blake Fisher, I didn't see him in the game. Usually that's a good thing when it comes to my offensive linemen. I don't want to know. I don't want to know who's playing. Shoot, I don't want to know. I don't want to hear 78 false start 1,000 times over and over. I don't want to see Kenyon Green passing the line of scrimmage every damn play. Like as long I don't hear them, I'm gonna assume that they're average to good, and that's all I really need from my offensive line. You just need an average to good offensive line. You saw from a first half perspective on the Buffalo Bills game, you saw what CJ Stroud can do when he has enough time in the pocket, and you dropped a quick 17 on him. It almost felt easy. I mean, it was like, man, this is starting to feel like blowout territory. Yeah. The Houston Texans, if a second half never starts, they're still scoring in the first half. There was just no stop to them at all. And even without Nico Collins, the second half didn't look so good, and there was an implosion. But you're going at New England, at Green Bay, home for the Colts game, and at the Jets. You're basically missing him for the rest of October if, he comes back, which he should. I believe this is more of a 2 to 3 week thing for him, and they're just being super cautious and making sure that, okay, we're going to have Nico Collins, the best receiver on our team statistically, and one of the best receivers statistically in football. Make sure he is fully healthy because the offense looks a lot better with him.
Agreed. Before anybody else jumps in, let me get some of these comments here. Let's see. Let's go Texans. Damn Skippy. Brandon Hollum. The whole line should be out there practicing silent counts all damn day before a 2-week road trip.
Yeah.
Every time they get a flag, I'm going to be saying lazy asses should have practiced. What's up? The Wayne flies. I don't care if they aren't dressed or even moving. Just stand in a straight line practicing that silent count. This is from our Colts guy. Jags suck, Titans suck, Texans suck. Shut up, Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff. No, Jeff, go lay down.
Yeah, you're going to mess with us. All right, buddy. I see you. But yeah. So let's get into ways to win here, gentlemen. We're playing a team that's not very good. But we can't be distracted by that. We can't just automatically assume this is a dub because it is the NFL. While this team may not be great on paper, any given Sunday is still very much a thing in this NFL. So, Drake May gets his first start. How do we keep Drake May's first start from being the second loss on the season?
I already told you, blitz him 100% of the time. I know it's not really possible to do that because these guys will be tired, but, as much as you can blitz them as much as you can. I don't do them like you saw how Josh Allen was rushed. Y'all saw how he was rushed. Not 9 of 30. And that's Josh Allen. Josh Allen is nothing to sneeze at. I respect Josh Allen heavily. I don't know.
I agree with you. I agree with you on the blitzing thing, but I actually think a little bit different to an extent. I might want him to throw the ball. Because who the hell is he throwing the ball to?
Yeah.
I might want him to put it into the air. But one of the fears is who's playing that other cornerback. If Lassiter's there, oh yeah, throw it. I need my guys to get some more interceptions. I've been waiting on that second Kalen Bullock interception. It needs to come. Give Aziz another chance to catch the ball. God damn, he couldn't catch a cold last game, but he was there.
Well, we know why he plays defense. We will say that.
Yeah. Harley?
Yeah, I mean, their leading receivers, Hunter Henry, a tight end, 180 receiving yards, by the way, is their leading receiver. It's not pretty. Jacoby Brissett, I don't even think it's a matter of, we got to get the rookie in. I think it's just a matter of, and Jacoby Brissett's ass. Like I just don't think they understood how bad and washed Jacoby Brissett was. I guess they thought they were getting, a few years ago, pretty decent backup journeyman Jacoby Brissett. That's just not the case this year for him. Again, 180 receiving yards is the leading receiver for the team. So that just tells you how many passing yards does Jacoby Brissett have. So that's where I'm going with Drake May. I'm like, okay, now they're going to play him. Hell of a game to choose. Last time we faced a rookie quarterback in Caleb Williams, they only gave up 13 points. Look, the offense was pretty much a no-show, but defensively, D'Amico, Ryans and company, they knew what to do against a rookie quarterback. Should the Houston Texans blitz? Absolutely. Should they play some coverage too and be nice with it? Yeah, absolutely. Is it going to be tough if Kamari Lassiter doesn't play? Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Jeff Okudah. Seems like he's still not going to be ready. So they brought back Kadar Homan. Look, it's only Wednesday. I'm gonna hope that Lassiter plays, but I do believe Aaron Wilson had a tweet and report out today that he's implying that Lassiter might not go this Sunday. But I mean, if we're not, look, I'm trying to find a receiver for the Patriots. I'm trying. Their whole offense is Ramondre Stevenson, a guy, and this is how dysfunctional the New England Patriots are. And Ramondre Stevenson is a really good running back, by the way. And him and Gerard Mayo had like a disagreement before the last game, didn't start him in the game. Then Stevenson goes out there, drops a 50-plus yard rushing touchdown. He goes, you know what? Let's just keep giving him the ball. That's not a bad idea offensively, considering you don't got nothing else. The Houston Texans should feast against the New England Patriots. This is a game that I don't want to see get close. I don't. I want to be kicked back in the chair end of the third quarter, and I'm chilling. I can walk out and come back in the room.
I want to see Mills play.
There we go. That's not a bad idea.
Mills plays.
It's not a bad idea. I would like that too. Give me a game where I'm not looking at the oxygen tank and looking at the IV bags and going, man, I'm going to need y'all by the end of the fourth quarter, man. Like, no, I don't want that no more, man. We got limited supply over here as Texans fans, and I don't want to use it all up. That's what playoff football is for. I don't want to see that against the team that is just bad, plain and simple.
Yeah, this is a team that we should, in theory, be able to just mollywop. But it does have that trap game feeling. And to me, we've got to immediately stop the running game, which is their most potent part of their offense. Their offensive line is not what it used to be in Patriots eras gone by. Trent Brown's gone. They've got some of their other main offensive linemen that left. This is not a great offensive line. Jacoby Brissett didn't have a lot of yards, but there's also not really like a true wide receiver one there. There's not even a true wide receiver two. They've got a bunch of young dudes there trying to see if anybody can go out there and catch the damn ball. They have athletes. Tyquan Thornton is one hell of an athlete. I mean, you get him the ball with some space, he should be able to do something, but getting in the ball has been the problem.
This is the team that cut Juju, correct?
Yeah.
They cut Juju. They cut Juju. The same guy that I could have sworn he was cooking on Monday night, wasn't he? Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Surely was.
Who knew dysfunction in the Patriots would be a synonymous in 2024?
Well, I think we all thought it would happen eventually, but I think most of us had that happening like at the death of Bill Belichick. But
Yeah.
instead,
Yeah.
it's just Gerard Mayo trying to piece it all together.
I feel so bad for that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if we can stop Ramondre Stevenson, we make Drake May try to beat us, and we give him just like with the offensive line that they have, I don't think we need to blitz a whole hell of a lot. But we saw what happened in the first half against the Bears when we didn't blitz a rookie quarterback. The second half against the Bears, blitzed him.
God.
He looked like he'd never seen a football field before and was basically just running around like Kyler Murray. So if we can make Drake May do that, we're going to cause that man to do some serious mistake making because he is not the athlete that Caleb Williams or Kyler Murray is. We got to get him. We got to make him think he's got to beat us, and there's just no shot. I don't care who's playing the other corner. They don't have a wide receiver that scares me. Even if Desmond King's out there as our corner too, I'm not intimidated by this wide receiver room.
Actually, that's not a bad idea. Desmond King might not be that bad.
Yeah, I mean, he's on the practice squad, I believe. He probably will get elevated if there's no Lassiter.
True.
But
Forget
beyond
about
that, I mean, on
Yeah, forgot
defense,
all about that.
like we just got to move the ball against the Patriots defense, which to this point hasn't looked like that big of an issue. Looks like Jabril Peppers has been added to the NFI list by the commissioner for some legal troubles he's going through.
Damn it.
So, they're down even more. But apparently Christian Gonzalez is in the middle of one of the better cornerback campaigns of 2024, having played a lot of top tier wide receiver talent and yielded very, very minimal results against him. So him against who, I guess, Stephon Diggs or Tank Dell, because I know actually I think he plays more slot, so I guess he'll be probably Tank Dell and Mechie. But that's going to be a matchup to watch, whoever he's covering, because I know we're going to try to get Tank more involved with the absence of Nico. And rightfully so, because he's an athlete, and why the hell have we not been using him better? But okay, what else do you think has to happen for the Texans to wrap this thing up?
Dalton Schultz, the guy that showed up at the end of last game, has to show up at the beginning of this one. I actually forgot he was on the field. I'm sitting in the building, and I thought Dalton was hurt, because I saw Cade Stover doing more than him.
Yeah.
And they brought back Teagan this week. I don't think they brought back Teagan just to sit on practice squad. We signed him away from the Bears practice squad. So is something wrong with Dalton? Is his head not in the game? I have my friends that are Cowboys talking about this is why they got rid of it. It's because some games they just can't find.
I think that's possible, but I think it's also likely that Teagan got brought in because British Brooks is on IR now. So we went
Don't
from
bring that up. That hurts my feelings too.
It does. But British Brooks going on IR.
Boy.
We only had the two tight ends to begin with because everybody else kept getting hurt. So it just makes sense that TQ would be brought back, and they'll probably use Stover more as like an H-back fullback role.
That was something they were doing with Stover at training camp. They had used him a little bit in that fullback role. Not a lot, not a lot. But whenever we saw the splash game in preseason, I believe game 2, it was against the Giants, where British Brooks had himself a really good game. In training camp, you see, interesting. British Brooks is lined up more at fullback. Then you see Stover. I keep saying TQ. Stover being lined up at fullback, a few snaps. So definitely something in Brevin Jordan as well, but obviously he's out for the year. But Stover, I think the utilization of him could be more of a factor in the game. Expect a lot of single back formation. Even though I liked it when they were running out of the gun against the Bills, it seemed like they were getting more yardage out of the gun, whether it was a quick little halfback draw or just an inside zone, whether it was Dari or Cam Akers. It just seemed like it worked a lot better out of the gun, spread out. Who knows? Maybe that's what the mindset was defensively. Oh, they got spread out guys. We're not going to, there's not an obvious run formation that the Houston Texans do a lot. With the TQ thing, I will say Dalton Schultz he's just not a willing blocker. And that's his biggest weakness is he doesn't block. And the Houston Texans are asking of their tight ends to block. And it made me wonder, when they re-signed him this year, I was like, oh, I mean, I liked what, Schultz brought in a little bit of the CJ Stroud backyard offense where, hey, I'm going to make up some plays and here you go, Schultz. That was fun, but that's not exactly the offense or what the Houston Texans are asking of for Dalton Schultz. They're asking him to be more of a blocker, and that's just something he's not really inclined to do. That's something Stover it has more willingness to do. Brevin Jordan has shown more willingness to do. And Tegan Cotoriano, considering how huge TQ is, I wouldn't shock me if there's a red zone touchdown from Tegan Cotoriano Sunday. Would not shock me whatsoever. I do question the usage of Dalton Schultz, the re-signing of him, and I kind of wonder what is his future here with the Texans.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering that when we re-signed him because he's definitely the pass catcher that we need. He's a little bit bigger body than Brevin, so I think he adds some much needed diversity in that room. But with Cade Stover being a little bigger than him, a significantly better run blocker, I feel like Stover's ceiling could be better than what Schultz has been showing, especially the way that we're trying to utilize him. So realistically, to me, I think in the future we're going to be moving on from Schultz, and Stover will be tight end one. He was actually one of the things that I said when we drafted him was that eventually at the end of this year he was going to usurp Brevin Jordan as tight end two and become just work his way up the lineup. Injuries made that happen a lot sooner than I anticipated, but even still, we've got pretty solid options at tight end, and the loss of British Brooks is going to hurt. Even though we don't really use the fullback position a whole hell of a lot, when we do use it, he's been able to come in there and clean some clocks. So I'm hoping that Cade Stover can come in and fill in admirably. But let me ask you all this. Dameon Pierce practices today. Do you feel better about the running game if he's able to suit up Sunday?
Yes, because at this point, Cam Akers has showed us he's not the greatest runner between the tackles. When he gets to break into the outside the tackles, dangerous. Dare has been consistently 3 yards. That's not going to win you any football games. At best, Dameon can give us 4. He'll give me that extra yard. He'll fall forward. He doesn't fall backwards very often, and I think he might be pumped and ready to play. Because he's one of those guys, he really doesn't like to watch people play football. He doesn't like watching from the sideline.
Yeah. Okay. Chris?
So I do. I want to disagree with you so badly, but I can't. I honestly can't. And it's just because I have a very high hope for Dameon Pierce. So, I know he's been injured, and I just have not seen it since his rookie season what he was at that point in time. But at the same time, like I say, I do agree with you completely because like Cam Akers, like Dare starting for me as running back one for the Bills was just an extreme better idea for me than Cam Akers. We saw what Cam Akers starting did for us. We won the game, but we saw it. Cam Akers, JJ Taylor, come on, like what are we doing here? Like what are we doing here with that? There's nothing. Cam Akers, both of his Achilles have been shot to death, right?
Yeah.
I mean, then and on top of what is he 5'8"? How tall is he? 5'8"? Not that big. He's a little bitty guy. So I mean, Pierce being back, you have that big back that can
Punish.
I'm just gonna agree with you, Mike, because I honestly I don't have anything good to say about Pierce right now. I love him to death, but I have nothing good. I don't want to say, and it sounds so bad to say it like that, but since his rookie season, I don't have anything good to say about him, and I feel like we're nothing without Joe Mixon. But I do agree with you. I mean, it sounds so bad. I agree with you, but I don't, and I don't know.
Harley?
Yeah, man. Damian Pierce is going to be playing Sunday against the Patriots. That's coming from D'Amico Ryans' own mouth, so that's great to hear. Look, I think it's a matter of this is a low bar. So Pierce is past the low bar. You know, like it's better than seeing JJ Taylor being active. Like, you know, like I don't care about JJ Taylor. Damian Pierce is better than him. Cam Akers, I think Mike really hit it on the point there, man. I think it really hit it on the head. Cam Akers he's just slow. You know, the Achilles injuries, there's a reason why he was out there for that long. You know, mentally, you're like, oh, he knows what he wants to do. He's just too slow.
It's too slow to get there.
It's unfortunate, you know, and it's what happens when you get two Achilles injuries. It really does. You know, that's why he looks a lot better when he runs it to the outside a lot. There's open field, and he could just, all right, I can get 4 yards right out of bounds. All right, cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's no problem. And so I think Damian Pierce is, you know, I would say he's better than Cam Akers. And then, you know, Dare, I mean, I appreciate what Dare's done, especially 2 weeks ago being the hero, getting the game ball. Last week, we really showcased how he can be utilized in the receiving game, and that's something that you didn't see out of Cam Akers or anybody under the running back position. And that's something I thought was very vital to this Texans team last week. Was just here, Dare, here's 3, 4, 5 yards. Okay, no problem. I mean, I used to be I played flag football when I was young. And I was that fat kid that came right off the offensive line, turned boom, right around, and I was wide open every time. 3, 4 yards. And hey, 4 times 3 is 12, and 12 yards is a first down. I'm just saying. All right.
Math works.
I did my work.
Did they mark you eligible? Make sure you called it eligible.
Of course. You know, so in flag, you know, you just got one offensive lineman. I hike the ball, boom, curl route, stop. No one's there. Everyone's like, don't guard the fat dude. And then boom, catches the ball. Oh, go get him. Bam, 1 spin move, 6 more yards. Uh-oh.
No, not the move.
So yeah, hey, I'll hit him up with a spin move now. Dare is
that's Dare's game. That's Dare's game right now.
That's what he is. I appreciate what he does. Good pass blocker, good on special teams, you know, receiving game. The run game, you get what you're going to get from him. I think you squeezed as much as you could out of that lemon. And now you got Damian Pierce, which, look, like Chris had mentioned earlier, I mean, hey, it ain't the greatest, but it's better than what you got currently.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not great.
It's also true that Damian Pierce is one of the better pass blocking running backs in the league.
Yes.
So I hope that means that the pass pro will be a little bit better. He'll be able to pick up those linebackers because he is not afraid to hit somebody. Before we move on to the next topic, let's hit some of these comments. Love y'all. Keep up the hard work from Jeff. Jeff says, how did the Texans beat the Patriots? Do the opposite defensively of what the Colts did against Jacksonville.
Shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Only way you get to see Mills is if the O-line practices silent count this week. Otherwise, they will stop every drive. Thank you, Brandon. Says, why can't we have nice things? I don't know. There's some sort of witchcraft happening, but Leo G says Texans win 24-17. Brandon says Texans win 70-3. Jesus Christ.
TV off.
He says Pierce is a big question mark still. Absolutely. Still believe in Pierce. 2022 in there somewhere. Had to stop calling him Damian Single Yard Terry after 3 Colts carries. But he can pick that title back up.
Nice.
I will say one of the things with Damian that we all forget, everybody calls what he did that rookie year a fluke.
Yeah.
How he runs the football, that's not a fluke. He doesn't run from people. He runs through people.
Yeah.
That's not a he should be able to find that guy again, but the offensive line has got to get him to that second layer of defense. He's not going to run through 300-pound defensive line.
No.
Linebackers, cornerbacks, safeties. Look what Derrick Henry does to him on a regular basis. They can't tackle him one-on-one. And that's the same way Damian was running his rookie year. You couldn't tackle him with a 185-pound, 200-pound guy. You had to bring that beef. And he still ran through.
Yep. Before we get into score predictions, I wanted to ask you guys, so we're 5 games into the season. Is there anybody on this team whose production has surprised you so far?
Positively or negatively?
Yeah, I was thinking too. Hold on.
Either way is fine. If you've got one of both, go both.
Oh, well, I'll go ahead and start. We're gonna go Tank Dell. I'm going Tank Dell and negatively.
Okay.
I'm going Tank Dell, and it might be the way they're using him. I have no idea. I'm not exactly sure what's going on because there was no Stephon Diggs on the field. Let's forget about the fact that Nico's not going to be here. Nico was here the first 5 weeks. Stephon Diggs was not here last year. Tank Dell looked amazing last year before he got hurt. So there's a Stephon Diggs now and a Nico. My issue is, why is Nico the only one getting the ball thrown to him? I understand Stephon Diggs might be covered. He's the number 2 receiver. Fine. Why is it that Nico Collins is the only one that seems to be able to know when he needs to get to CJ when CJ is running? I understand maybe CJ is always going to throw it to Nico, but that was Tank Dell also last year a bunch of times. That if one thing we know about CJ, on third down and on the last drive of the game, what they say, he's Brady-esque. He's Mahomes-esque. He can mess up the whole game, and if they have a chance to win it, you have faith that he can go and win the game or go and get that important third down. You know, what prime example, the whole thing, and I don't want to get off topic, but the whole thing about paying Dak Prescott $60 million. He threw he had 3 turnovers in the red zone, but he made the one that counted. And everybody forgot about those 3 turnovers. Even though it was a bad game, they forgot about the 3 turnovers. It's as crazy as it sounds. Just to say it like that. But I'm just back to Tank Dell. Either he's not being used properly, or maybe it's a mind thing. It might be a mind thing. Like I said, I don't want to ever see that sweep ever again. I don't care if it works. I do not want to ever see it again.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm afraid if it works, but I'm just saying I don't want to see it again. Looks bad. They never get it. But he's got 2-3 yards, and they've ran it a bunch of times. He's gotten 2-3 yards in the 10 times they've ran it.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Do you have a positive one?
No, because CJ's doing what I thought he was going to do. I mean, Nico, but he's hurt, so he's out the picture right now.
I have a positive one. It would be Henry To'oTo'o.
That guy there
stepped up admirably in the absence of Christian Harris, and up until I had heard Seth Payne talking about it on his channel on YouTube, that the Texans didn't really trust any of the other linebackers at this point, other than Azeez and Henry To'oTo'o. And that's why we're not seeing Jake Hansen. That's why we're not seeing much Neville Hewitt. I thought it was just more of we're just kind of lightweight, and it didn't really matter if we threw a third linebacker out there. But if there's not a lot of trust, that means they don't think these guys can go out there and make good plays, big plays, be in good position. So, Henry To'oTo'o being a guy that I thought was going to be a liability at the linebacker spot when we are in base, has definitely stepped up and played phenomenally better than I thought he would. And then for a negative one, so you already got Tank, so I'm going to go with Jimmy Ward. Jimmy Ward cannot consistently be on the field. He was, if I'm remembering correctly, against the Colts, he was kind of the reason a couple of those touchdowns were scored. And that he breaks up a couple of those passes instead of trying to go for the big hit, we're looking at a game that wasn't even close. So those two are my surprises so far.
Jimmy Ward's making you forget about Eric Murray.
It's true. Making me forget about Eric Murray because he's played well since then. I feel like Jimmy Ward's been consistently the same level of inconsistent, if that makes sense.
If anything, I have one of each.
Okay.
As a negative that I'm seeing is Danielle Hunter. Danielle Hunter, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I was expecting, Danielle. It doesn't matter. He's the guy not hitting the quarterback. So we paid him to hit the quarterback. Watching Jonathan Grenard be so successful for Minnesota makes my stomach hurt. I expected so much more from him. Yes, I understand him and Will Anderson are still leading the NFL in pressures, but you're not getting to him. Will Anderson has the benefit of the doubt because he's a baby in this game. He's just got here. Our expectations for him are high, but not so high that they're astronomical. Danielle Hunter, we came in here expecting 17, 18 sacks from him because that's damn near what he averages per year. We were expecting it. We haven't seen it. That's my one downside, but I think he has it in him. But I don't know what the hell's keeping him from getting there. He's close. He keeps getting close. Almost got him. Almost. Nope, not quite. My one positive, also on the defensive line, is Mario Edwards. I did not know this guy had that in him. When we signed Mario Edwards, I was like, okay, this is practice squad fodder. He's going to be one of these guys that he looks good in practice. We see him 4 snaps a game. It makes me excited for when Danico Autry comes back because I want to figure out a way to get both of them on the field at the same time. Vodakasi has played a couple of pass downs, and we didn't expect that from him at all.
Yeah.
So, Mario Edwards has showed me a mean streak that I like to see from my football players. I love to see it. It's aggressive. It's old school. I'm in my 40s. We're not going to put that too far out there what that number really is. I remember mean football. I remember when defensive linemen hit you and they stepped over you. They didn't dance. They didn't do a whole lot of extra stuff. You just knew that he was coming again once you snapped the ball again. That's what I see from Mario Edwards. I don't see he ain't for play. He's not for play. He coming out there for real and he's trying to hurt somebody. Thank you. I better him than Jimmy Ward.
Yeah. Yeah. Harley?
Yeah. There's not much negatives for me. I really like the Jimmy Ward one. That's the one I really thought of immediately. Besides that, just going through the roster, I mean, I could just say I would like to say offensive line. I'm still more in the habit of, this is their 4th game fully healthy together, 3rd, 4th, 5th game now fully healthy together. I kind of was like, I don't know how good the offensive line is going to look at the start of the season. The hope still for within me is that they're going to look better as the season goes along. I've said this numerous times on the channel, on my YouTube channel, week 5, week 4, week 3, Houston Texans is not going to look the same as week 15, 16, and 17, Houston Texans. So I got hope in the offensive line. I do. People that I am positive on, I will say, and even though we only saw 1 game from him, Joe Mixon had a $159 in week 1, and he hasn't been back since. But I didn't know that was what you were going to get out of Joe Mixon. I wasn't sure what you were going to get out of Joe Mixon. I know what he did in Cincinnati. I was really like, okay, let me see how this works. But you also got Stephon Diggs, and it was kind of like, man, I really want to play with these shiny toys I got at the wide receiver position. But the Miko and company said, no. We could grind a game out and we can win. A $159 is crazy against the Colts defense that we thought rush defense wise, they had a really good rush defense. It just doesn't seem like to be the case this year. I don't know what's going on there. Another guy I'd say for a positive, Jalen Petrie. Jalen Petrie has played so well in his new role in the whatever you want to call it, the star role, slot corner, linebacker role, whatever it is. It is a similar role that he was playing in Baylor, where he was Big 12 Defense Player of the Year. So, D'Amico has put the mindset of, hey, let's put guys to where they work successfully. When that's where you get a Jalen Petrie playing very good this year. You got an Azeez Al-Shaair who didn't do so hot for the Titans last year, but comes here and he goes immediately back to the level of play he was doing for the San Francisco 49ers. He's been amazing as well. But Petrie, man, I'm really loving what he brings to this team. He gets you some key stops when you really need them. He comes in on blitzes every once in a while. He'll surprise you coverage-wise on a slot receiver. Maybe not all the time, all right? And I still wonder when teams are going to start harping on the slot, corner role of Jalen Petrie. But as of right now, he is playing some damn good football. And I really love your Henry T one. Man, I love Henry T right now, man. He has been amazing. Lost weight, said he was a fat ass last year, lost a damn weight, and he looks different. There's that clip the Houston Texans posted of Henry T, and he's just destroying an offensive lineman, just runs him over and gets the TFL, and he just gets up screaming. I didn't know Henry T had that kind of swag on him. I didn't know that. All right. I thought Henry T was your I thought he was your prototypical heavy kind of linebacker, really good against the run, but a very, liability in the pass game. And that's what you saw last year, besides maybe the Steelers game where he had a few good plays on the pass. Henry T, man, my goodness. I'm like, man, when is Christian Harris going to come back? Do I really need to ask the question? Because Henry T has filled in very nicely.
Yeah.
The last question I have before we get into score predictions is pretty simple, and Harley touched on it with his answer there. The rush defense. So I think, and the question I guess is like, what do you guys think is going to happen when Harris comes back, when Danico is back in the lineup, when Heinisch is back? To me, I think the only reason that we don't have a phenomenal rush or run-stopping defense is we don't have the bodies in the interior that are heavy enough to be consistent run-stopping guys. Mario Edwards Jr., Danico Autry, Khalil Davis, Tim Settle, they are 3-4 defensive end kind of players. So they're a little like in between regular 4-3 defensive end and a 3-tech or a 1-tech. And then Fotokasi is at the moment the only actual run-stopping defensive tackle on the team. He's over 300 pounds, and that is a rarity for us at this point. But when Heinisch comes back, when Harris comes back, when Danico comes back, this defensive interior gets a little bit more rotation. It also gets a little heavier. And I think that's when we'll start to see the run defense kind of starting to bow up a little bit. But right now, I mean, it is just a bend but don't break defense, and they're somehow getting it done. Like with the cardiac, like every game's a cardiac arrest worthy game because they're bend but don't break to the T. Like, so my question is, what do you think it looks like? Do those players actually make a dent in the rush defense, or am I just wishfully thinking?
So my answer to that, because as of right now, because I was looking at like the sacks, I started looking up the sacks for the Texans after Mike brought up was talking about like whatever happened to like who's Daniil Hunter, because apparently we don't know who he is this year. And I was wondering the same thing, because I think it will make a difference. And I know we're talking about the run defense, but I think it will make a difference having those bigger bodies, because for some reason I'm just feeling like maybe with these smaller bodies, I don't know, like these offensive lines seem to be able to handle these smaller bodies. And like you say, especially with this when you get bigger bodies in, you're not going to be able to push them back.
Yeah,
that's how I feel about it. You're not going to be able to push them back, and it's I don't know, because I'm looking at these names on this list, and I'm trying to figure out, like, like I said, I know we're talking run defense, but my point is, why do I see defensive tackles with more sacks than? And these are defensive tackles. We're not talking about Chris Jones or Aaron Donald. So I mean,
well, I think they have more sacks because the focus is going on Daniil and Will Anderson.
They're
Nobody's
getting double teamed.
Exactly. Fotokasi and Khalil or Mario Edwards Jr. They're not getting double teamed. They're not. Defenses aren't worried about that.
That's what I understand that. Well, I know they're not going to get double team. I would understand that Daniil's going to get double team, but okay, so Daniil Hunter, you're supposed to be that dude. You're supposed to be like a Myles Garrett. Like, even if you're getting double teamed, you're supposed to get through there. Like, I don't want to because I know I didn't got us all off subject because I'm talking about this because this rush defense it's really bothering me because I feel like if you're getting paid the money, you should be able to get after it. I don't care if you're getting quadruple team. There should be no reason. No, I don't care. There should be no reason that you're being stopped because, like you said, Mike, Jonathan Grenard, we saw him run over Stover. We saw what he did. We saw what he did, and that was just my whole thing about it. I understand their defensive line is probably better. But I think we're gonna need to get. I do think we need because who are we missing? Autry and we're waiting on Christian Harris. He's a linebacker. I mean, that's not gonna.
No, it's gonna help. With even that aspect, I've been watching a lot of it. I'm not gonna say I'm a defensive savant and I just understand football better than anybody else. But watching the game, I see Derek Stingley. I see Petrie. I see Kalen Bullock, who apparently couldn't tackle in college. These guys are coming up to help on the run.
Yeah.
We've gotten mad at Stingley for missing tackles on running backs. That's not really what we paid him for. But these guys are coming to have to help out because the run has been killing us all year long. The one game, well, I'm sorry, I take that back. The two games the run game didn't kill us was the Bears and the Colts.
Yeah.
Everyone else, we didn't even give a damn who was running. It didn't matter who was running the ball. They all took a chance blowing past our defensive line. Maybe it is because they're a little light in the ass. Maybe that's the whole reason. But it's still not acceptable.
Yeah.
And I think part of the reason Lassiter's complaining about his shoulder hurting is because he had to go help on the run. Lassiter's not a big dude. But there was a lot that they were running off tackle that, yes, Will Anderson's getting double teamed. Daniil Hunter's getting double teamed. But it's one-on-one with a cornerback. And they're coming up hitting. I love it. I do love it. It's great. It's football how I remember it. But that's not what we pay these guys for.
No.
It's scary.
Yeah.
If we don't fix it, this is going to be a very long year. And like I said,
we do face Derrick Henry.
I'm not even worried about Derrick Henry anymore. Derrick Henry likes to run between the tackles. That's our strength, is if he's running between the tackles. It gives Al-Shaair opportunity to hit him. He's not running away from Al-Shaair.
Or Harris.
Oh my God. Hey, oh my God. And sorry to cut you off. I could not stand the way people were talking about Al-Shaair. Like I didn't see this man all over the field on Sunday. I saw that man everywhere on Sunday. He had one really bad missed tackle at the beginning of the game. A really bad one. He had a missed tackle. But the rest of the game, he was Jordan. I don't care. He was flu game Jordan.
No, but
Go ahead.
he's been like that all year long.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
One person that has literally been like that all year long. I've seen him all over the field. Anybody that knows me, my custom-made Texans jersey says Smith with the number 0. And I was like, damn, I didn't even know I was going to pair up like that. I liked the way it looked. Agent 0 sounded cool. But
Gil?
Al-Shaair has just been that guy all goddamn year long. He's the one guy. We haven't even heard him complain about injuries. And if anybody should be hurt, it probably is him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
God.
Yeah. Harley?
Yeah, I mean, I think the run defense will get better like when Autry and Christian Harris get back, especially considering whenever Harris does come back, and I'm hoping relatively soon, but I don't think so. I think we're getting a Drew Scruggs kind of last year where Scruggs was out with the hamstring injury all the way up to about week 10. I think that's might be where we're looking at for Christian Harris. Soft lingering injuries, I mean, they just take forever to heal. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Henry T and Aziz, they've both filled in very well, but I do think that the run defense, if Christian Harris is the third linebacker in there, and you got a trio of linebackers where you can play a base 4-3 and have Aziz, Christian Harris, and Henry T. Yeah, buddy, I don't I pity the offense because that trio of linebackers right there, fully healthy, this sounds scary as hell. And the Houston Texans with a Danico Autry that should be back for the Packers game, actually, which is next week after you play the Patriots. The run defense should get incrementally better. I do think that with Danico Autry, the sack numbers can go up for both Daniel Hunter and Will Anderson. I think it's a fair take that, hey, you paid this money for Daniel Hunter and you want to see results. The pressure rate for both him and Will Anderson are high. Pressure rate will lead to sacks, just like Will Anderson. We were harping on pressure rate all of last year for Will Anderson, but then right at the end of the year, boom, 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 he got a bunch of sacks. I do think it's a fair, judgment. Like, hey, man, we paid this guy some money and we're not getting the sacks, and I think that's fair. I think that's very fair that you want to see, you want to see your check pay out, man. You don't want to see anything skimmed off the check. If that check says, $1,100.68, I better see $1,100.68 in my bank account. Like, that's exactly what you want to see, so I get that. That's a fair point. But I do think the run defense, as of right now, they're doing as best as they can. But they're going to get better once these guys start to come back.
Now that you mentioned it, one thing that I brought up, that I'm thinking with Christian Harris being able to play a true 4-3, and I think you'll see Petrie more at safety, but they'll move him into that box. So you're going to have damn near 4 linebackers down there trying to hit. Because Caleb Bullock showed he can hold up the back end if he's back there. I'm actually starting to see not much use for Jimmy Ward. What was he good at? He was good at tackling at one point in his career. He doesn't look good at tackling anymore. Coverage, he's not great in coverage. What are you doing? When we're, like you said, when we're discussing Eric Murray being a better football player than you, what the hell?
Yeah. All right. Let's get to some of these comments real quick. Brandon's been very active. Part of those sack numbers at Minnesota were unblocked sacks where he went straight to the quarterback Flores scheme. Wouldn't be so close if they attempted kicks more on 4th downs and 2-point conversions. 6-point lead is very different from a 2-point lead. Why do we have tight ends and halfbacks 1v1ing DNs and defensive tackles? And Paul, go Texans, beat the Pats. Damn Skippy. All right. So, according to ESPN, the line on this game is Houston is favored by 7. The over-under is 38.5. Who would like to go first on the score prediction?
Ooh. I guess I'll go first on this one. I actually see the Texans kicking the New England Patriots' teeth in. If we needed it, anything other than that to shut up most of America. Yes, I know they're not a good team, but don't those wins always look good when they happen? They always do. So I think that this is going to be a week coming. I'm thinking 34. I don't even want to do that because that means Kyrie missed the field goal. So 35-14.
Well, it doesn't have to be that way. I mean, if they score 28 points and he kicks 2 field goals, it's still 34 points.
I don't see us kicking very many 58-yard field goals this week. I just don't.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't see him getting a lot of work today because I'm going to predict on the side that Dameon Pierce is going to come in and we're going to see that running game that we saw week 1.
Okay.
Just because he feels good, he has fresh legs, and he wants to prove a point. Because y'all know Dameon Pierce, he likes YouTube like everybody else. He likes ESPN like everybody else. He hears people counting him out. I hope that lights a fire under his ass.
Yeah. So 35 to what?
35-14.
35-14. Okay. Firmly over. Chris.
Oh yeah, so like I'm going under. There's no way I'm going over. No way. I'm not going over with Drake May and I just if we went under last game barely, get a touchdown, it goes over. But I digress. I'm gonna go. That's literally what I was gonna say. I was gonna say what I'm looking at in these comments, 24-3. That was literally. I think the Texans are gonna handle them very well, but we're not scoring. The Patriots have a good defense, and they're decent. They're decent. We're missing Nico. We don't know if they're gonna be able to scheme Tank Dell open. I'm factoring all that in. I want to that's gonna be my score prediction though, the 24-3, because I don't think the Patriots can score. That's my problem with them. I don't think they can score as long as you gotta depend on Ramondre Stevenson and I feel like we'll be all right stopping him this weekend. I think we're gonna stop him. He has a fumbling problem. He's gonna fumble the ball. 24-3. I'm cool with it.
Okay. Harley, do you want to go last or you want to go next?
I'll go next. It's fine.
Okay.
27-6 Texans. I just think they whoop their ass, quite frankly. It's just little chances. There's little anybody that can do to convince me that the Patriots can even contend in this game. 27-6 Texans whoop their ass. They get some touchdowns from CJ. You get a field goal from Fairbairn. Ultimately, the offense, I think, is going to look better today, but it's going to be because you're playing a really bad team. Defensively, yeah, they're pretty good, but they're on the field all the time. The defense is always on the field because the offense can't score. And that's going to be another case of the New England Patriots. They're going to have a play or two, though, with Drake May. They're going to have that, every time there's a new quarterback that comes in, there's that play or two. And as a fan, you're like, man, that was exciting. It always happens. That's just what the script writers write up every time. So Drake May is going to have his play. He's going to have maybe 2 plays in the game where you're like, damn, that was nice. But that's about it, man. Overall, this defense should be smothering Drake May, similar to what they did against Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears. They only gave up 13, and really they gave up that touchdown because Tommy Townsend shanked the punt and gave him a short field, and they got a touchdown. If that doesn't happen, you're looking at 6 points for the Bears there. So I'm giving 6 points to the Patriots here. Texans do their thing, dominating fashion.
Hell yeah. I'm going to go under, but just barely. We're going to go 31-6. Actually, yeah, that's just barely under. I have a feeling that this is not going to be this has the feel of the game, the Titans game from last year at the end of the season, where we're playing a massively underwhelming team. We're playing a young quarterback. He's not super great. He's still early in his reps, and we're not going to have to throw the ball a lot. CJ Stroud, I think, finished that game with like 20 pass attempts or something, 200 yards and a couple touchdowns. I expect the same kind of stat line for CJ out of this. I think that we get our running game going against this subpar defense for the Patriots. And Dameon Pierce doesn't necessarily recapture that 22 form, but gives us a little bit more hope in this running game at offensive line. This is a team that, the Patriots sold a lot of their better players. They sent Matthew Judon down to Atlanta. So I'm not scared of this defense. This is nothing to me. This is potentially a get-right game for the offense, and it needs to be that, because to this point, every game has kind of felt like the offense is running like an engine with a governor on it.
Damn.
Like, it can't go above 65 for just some reason. And I think this Patriots game is where the governor's cap kind of comes off, at least on the running game. And we'll start to see a little bit. The first half is where I think most of these points are going to be scored, and then the running game just takes over in the second half, and there's just no watchable football after that. So, with that being said, do we have any closing comments, gentlemen, before we wrap this thing up?
I do real quick. Just a real quick question. So, this morning when the news broke about Nico, I was getting ready for my show, and I saw Cody Stutz, he popped up, and because that's how I heard it first when I sent that in the thread. And one thing they were talking about, and I didn't even think about this before, otherwise I'd have brought it up. One thing they were talking about, and I want to get you guys' opinion on this real quick. Do y'all think that we should go out receiver shopping? And the only reason I say this is because I appreciate the answer. And like I say, I'm just only asking because it was a topic that they brought up, and people were like going crazy, and because first people would say it was be like Devontae Adams, stuff like that, but that's besides the point. I don't even care who it is. I'm just asking that question with knowing that we possibly won't have a Stephon Diggs next year with him being on the contract for just this 1 year, and it's a lot of things. I don't mean it just for this year. I'm talking about just in general with knowing the situation with Stephon Diggs, because if you want to go get another receiver, they're going to expect to get paid if you're trading for him. Understand? If you guys get what I mean. That's all I wanted to ask as far as that goes. What do y'all think about that? I got your answer, but go ahead.
I just want to say the only receiver that I'd say I'd go shopping for is if for some reason the Titans cut Hopkins. If they cut him and he's sitting at home, he's already been paid by the Titans, he's been paid by us, and he's sitting at home with nothing else to do, bring him home. Let him come home. That's the only receiver I would go do. Anything other than that, no, we good. It's not a problem.
I agree.
We good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much fine with the receiver room right now. You got Hutch, you got Mechie. I don't know what you're getting out of Mechie, but he's there. A guy that was supposed to be a presumable wide receiver 4 seems like it's going to go to Xavier Hutchinson this weekend. But Robert Woods, we were all everyone, including myself, was saying, "Hey, let's cut Robert Woods and let's save some of that money and maybe throw it somewhere else." I'm kind of glad that they didn't do it, man. Veteran wide receiver. Now I will say I didn't think Steven Sims was going to be that much of a doofus in the special teams department. I mean, my goodness, I was clinging on to the man. You saw that return in the Baltimore game, yeah,
man.
And I just rode that wave through the whole offseason. Yeah, but he had that return in the Baltimore game. What else did he do? You remember that return in the Baltimore game? Yeah, this is basically what's going on there with him.
He scored
it's unfortunate, but it's. I mean, hey, he did. But Robert Woods is a veteran. He, besides taking the punt inside the 5-yard line, that's the only one that I had a problem with when it came to Robert Woods. I don't know if that's Robert Woods. I don't know if that's Frank Ross. It's a question there. But you got Woods, you got Hutchinson, you got Mechie, you got Tank Dell. When you're looking at the future, I get what you're trying to say there with Stephon Diggs, and it does seem like this is only going to be a 1-year thing, a 1-year marriage with Stephon Diggs. Who knows? We'll never know. Maybe the future holds something grand, and I hope it does. But I'm inclined to just say, hey, let's just run it with Nico and Tank the next year. And yeah, they can bring in somebody if they really want to. If they want to, now you got 4 games where you're going to get to see something from not just Tank Dell, but Xavier Hutchinson, somebody that has, flashed a lot in training camp. He's going to get an opportunity. And if you get a glimmer of like, man, X looked like he could be a solid wide receiver 2 or 3 for you. I don't think he's a wide receiver 1 in this league. I always thought his highest potential was a wide receiver too. He had some good numbers at Iowa State, really solid, fell in the draft. You got him in the 6th round. Who knows? Maybe he shows you something that makes you, fray away from it, because I'm thinking of last year where you had Noah Brown who came in and stepped in. He had some 2 good games for you, and that was about it. But and then he got hurt.
That's all we need.
But
we just 2 games.
Exactly. Plus, I think the biggest defining factor here is you got a quarterback. And it's kind of like, you know what? Hey, you see that guy that's bagging groceries over there? CJ Stroud could make him have a 100-yard game, I'm pretty sure. Like, I just think we got something special at quarterback that I'm pretty confident in what you could do with the wide receiver department. I'm pretty confident in it.
Yeah, for me, same. Realistically, we've got 3 or 4 weeks until the trade deadline's up here. So I think there's time to see what we've got. And if Mechie and Woods and Hutch don't give you anything to look forward to or hope to fill in, then you start looking. And I think it wouldn't be any sooner than like week 7. Because I think they're going to give these guys a real thorough like examination on the field, get them some reps, see what's happening before any decisions like that are made. I also don't imagine us trading for any marquee names. So Devontae Adams would be off the table for me.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I don't think DeAndre Hopkins would be coming back for a reunion. I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I just don't think that would happen. Beyond that, I mean, I want to see John Mechie go out there and do some damn things. I mean, we spent a 2nd-round pick on him. He was dealt a crazy hard hand in life, and he's bounced back. It would be a crazy, amazing narrative to see him come back and be a big part of this offense. That would just, he would be comeback player of the year if that happens. So I hope that answers your question.
Okay, and I am going to give y'all my quick answer to my question. I agree with all of y'all. I don't think that we need to change any wide receivers also. I was just asking, like I said, if we don't see any production, what I would say, like Mike, you said D-Hop, the only, and I have 2 wide receivers, and I don't mean today. I mean, if we don't see any production, I got 2 wide receivers, and they're coming from the same team, because I'm looking at I'm looking at teams that we don't feel like at this time by week 7, you don't even feel like they're even going to be doing anything, and that's either going to be Jerry Jeudy or Amari Cooper. That's the only reason I wanted to bring that up, and I don't have no other receivers that pop up in my mind.
I'm gonna be honest. Cleveland not gonna trade with us anymore. Cleveland ain't trading with us no more. They're like, nah. Hey, it's Houston on line 1. Fuck that guy.
I think the same thing. That was what came into my mind, that we would have. And I just say that because we see what Deshaun Watson is doing, and those Jerry Jeudy's way better than that. I don't care. I think Jerry Jeudy's way better than that, and we know Amari Cooper's way better. But other than that, guys, I'm good to go. I wanted to get everybody's opinion on that. I should have brought that up earlier, but I completely forgot.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get some of these comments real quick. Brandon is blowing us up in here, and then we'll get out of here. Diggs has a lot of experience against the Patriots. If it's someone who could do part of Sims' role too, that'd be nice. Finding a backup cornerback might be important. Might be more important. Of course, part of that money would be also been getting Justin Simmons in to take Jimmy Ward's empty spot. We're facing the Pats, but in reality, this is a 2-week prep cycle for the Pack. And we trade to Cleveland. We don't trade from Cleveland. Truth. We've sent 2 to Cleveland, and then they just ate so much money.
I love those guys.
Oh,
I know. Brock and Deshaun. They took Brock and Deshaun off. Like, we'll take them. We got all the money in the world.
Yep.
Yeah, throwing the money out like strippers.
Like I said, the Browns are the Texans' toilet. Whatever we don't want, we flush it to Cleveland.
Hey. Yeah,
All right,
hey, name sounds perfect.
I think this is a good spot to go ahead and wrap it up. Harley, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on and talk Texans ball with us. Folks, you can go like and subscribe Harley's channel at @the_lead_HOU. Phenomenal Texans content. Well, you got content coming on like every day, every other day.
Yeah, I try to do every day as much as I can, whether it's some shorts, whether it's a video. I try to do both. I drop as much as I can, man. I'm addicted to this shit, man. That's basically what it is.
He's grinding.
Dude,
I respect it. I respect it. So look, go ahead, head over there, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. So when he's got new content, you can check it out. Do the same thing here. I just checked. We've added some subscribers just from the live stream today. We're at 201. Like to see that number keep climbing. So hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content from us. Head on over to That's Crazy Podcast and Talk. Follow up with Chris. Head on over to Mass 3 Productions on YouTube. That is Mike's channel. Please, please, please help us all grow here. Without any further ado, I think let's get out of here. Folks, be good people and go Texans.
Go Texans.
Go Texas.